Another of the 8 inmates who escaped during a jailbreak at the Black River Police lockup was captured by officers assigned to the St. Catherine North Division during a police operation on Thursday in Trial Heights, Spanish Town in the parish. He has been identified as Kenneth Stewart, who was charged for takeout. According to Senior Superintendent of Police SSP Howard Chambers, commanding officer for St. Catherine North, Stewart's baby mother was also taken into custody, accused of harboring a fugitive. Just want to remind the public that harboring a fugitive is a criminal offense, and so we are asking the public to cooperate with the police. Call the police as soon as any of these escapees are seen, SSP Chambers urged. Stewart is the second of the escaped inmates to be captured since the 8 men broke out of the lockup on June 19. The first escapee was caught at a bar in Buena Vista near Myersville in St. Elizabeth. Acting Superintendent Coleridge Minter, commanding officer for St. Elizabeth, also made an appeal to all citizens in Jamaica to share any information that you may have on the remaining escapees. You may share your information via 119 Crime Stop 311 or the nearest police station. He went on to strongly advise the remaining escaped inmates to turn themselves in to the police. Investigation spans across several geographic divisions, and as we continue to gather intelligence, I wish to appeal to the remaining escapees to consult with an attorney and to surrender peacefully to the police to allow the rule of law and the justice system to take its course. If not, it is just a matter of time before you all will be captured and brought to answer to the charges, Superintendent Minter said. Among the other escapees who remain at large is onward Kirky Hines, charged with a quadruple takeout. The other detainees who escaped are Oral Cole, 31, from Comfort Hall, Manchester; Alric Hutchinson, 38, from Brighton District, St. Elizabeth; and Dean Simpson, 34, from Turner Top, St. Elizabeth, who were all in custody charged with robbery with aggravation. Javon Sims, 25, from Copperwood, St. James, who was being held for takeout, and DeMar Williams, 29, from Gravel Heights in Spanish Town, St. Catherine, who is facing shooting with intent to charge. And he's reminding all of them, turn yourselves into the police. Justice Minister Delroy Chuck is holding fast to his view that children of a certain age who are convicted of capital takeout should serve a minimum sentence of 20 years in prison before being eligible for parole. He said that youngsters from the age of 15 clearly understand what they are doing and the consequences of what may happen if you are apprehended and you get convicted in a court of law. Chuck, who is chairman of the Joint Select Committee of Parliament, now reviewing the Child Care and Protection Amendment Act 2023, which stipulates this mandatory sentence for children, urged members at Wednesday's meeting to side with him. Committee members were examining the matrix of submissions, with Chuck favoring the recommendation of the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions, DPP, for the minimum 20-year sentence to only apply to children in cases of capital takeout. I would agree in many ways with what the Office of the DPP proposed, that the minimum mandatory applies to capital takeout, and 20 years is not insufficient if you ask me, but it's appropriate, he said. So quite frankly, I would urge us to agree that this section applies only to capital takeout, and we agree with not less than 20 years, because this bill should send that signal, especially to parents who have children under their charge to control their young people. Because if they don't, then they will be visiting these children for the next 20 years in jail, he said. Chuck further pointed out that a penalty must be imposed that satisfies the public interest and the sentiments of the friends and families of the victim. Otherwise, those families and friends of the victim may feel that the justice system has failed them. I feel that the justice system has to send that signal that when you're convicted of a crime, you're going to get a sentence that matches the seriousness of the offense. Otherwise, we are going to have a situation where people can't wait on the justice system. They are going to exact revenge and retaliation, especially for really serious, erroneous crimes, he said. As Chuck wrapped up the meeting, he proposed that the intended amendment to Section 73 of the Child Care and Protection Act only deal with capital murder, so that less erroneous cases of non-capital takeout are left up to the judge to decide on. I think it's a balance we are trying to do, but at the same time satisfy the public interest as to what the legislature wants to do, he said. While other members appeared to still be on the fence on the matter, government senators Kevin Gale and Charles Sinclair were in agreement with the proposal for a mandatory minimum to only apply to children convicted of capital takeout and for them to serve 20 years. Chuck urged colleagues to make a decision and come to a consensus at the next meeting of the committee. The committee is also deliberating on the Criminal Justice Administration Amendment Act 2023 and the Offenses Against the Person Amendment Act 2023, which are related to legislation dealing with minimum mandatory sentences. The thing is, the maturity of our children is much earlier than children in previous years, as our children are very advanced, and it would be good to say they're only kids, they will never do such things. But it's different times now, them way too advanced, and them knowledge even surpass the adults. They are gang leaders and are parts of gangs going on real missions, robberies and killings and contract hit, because they are less likely to be suspected. I remember years ago I went to bail a driver at a police station in St. Catherine, and while having a chat with the police, he turned to the next officer and said, "Someone leave some food for the kid in the lockup. Go give him." The other police said back to him, "Too facey and rank, and him not have no manners, the little boy." Hear how him a go on the cell and the words them that coming out of him mouth. So the police turned to me and said, "Would you believe, say, that youth is only 13 years old?" So I said, "That's a baby." The police turned to me and said, "Trust me, you don't want to meet that baby in the night." The police further stated, "I shoot after police and hold on him. A man that in a 13-year-old body, and as little as him be, him can pull down any gun and fit it up back. And how much the youth can shoot a target with one and a professional hitman." I laughed half-heartedly and said the police was just exaggerating. You know them stay already. But very soon after learned that these teenagers nowadays, is not one to mess with. The smarter, very cunning, more knowledgeable, and more ruthless and determined than anything else. And if you ever to get into a situation with one and he said, wait until me come back, trust and believe he's coming back. And he ain't coming back with his long hands. So you better prepare or page him first. Or page him first. Or page him first. So they're obviously well aware as teenagers what's right and what's wrong and the consequences of their actions. So yes, a mandatory sentence, once it is premeditated and deliberate, is reasonable lesson for their actions. So therefore the others that are looking on will say, yo, this serious man, and may not try to walk the same road, as it would have been a deterrent for them.